Families are supposed to protect you. Mine tried to kill me. I gave them my house. I gave them my table. I gave them my love. And on my 78th birthday, I almost gave them my life. I did not get balloons. I did not get a cake with candles. I got silence. And later that night, I got death at my own table. I am Alice Walton, born and raised in California. And I never thought I would survive the very family dinner I was supposed to host. The kitchen smelled of rosemary, of fresh bread, of the roast chicken my husband Robert loved. I set the table myself, 8 plates shining, silver polished, napkins folded the way my mother taught me back in 1960. The dining room light glowed warm across the wood, and I told myself this would be the night we could be a family again. But as I laid down the last fork, something inside me whispered, "Be careful." Erin, my daughter-in-law, was too perfect, too polished, too sweet to the neighbors, but sharp as glass inside these walls. Michael, my only son, defended her every time. "Mom, you are just tired. Stop imagining things." Linda, my daughter, would sigh and say, "Can we have one meal without suspicion?" But I knew. A mother always knows. The way Erin's eyes lingered on Robert's briefcase. The way she handled the checkbook faster than I could blink. The way she smiled like a hostess on TV. But her hands gripped the knife too tight. I tried to push the thoughts away. Tried to believe this night would be different. I placed Robert's whiskey glass beside his plate. I poured a little red wine for myself. And I whispered, "Lord, keep this family together." The clock ticked. 7 sharp. The front door opened. Laughter spilled in. Too loud. Too rehearsed. Erin kissed my cheek. Her perfume was heavy, like roses left too long in water. She carried the casserole dish with both hands, steam curling in the air. "This will bring us all together." Her words floated across the table. I wanted to believe her. God knows I wanted to. But when I looked into her eyes, it was not warmth I saw. It was something else. Something waiting. I pulled out my chair, my knees aching as I sat down. The wood felt cold even through my skirt. Robert reached for my hand, squeezed it once, and I thought at least I still have him. I glanced at the empty chair across from me. For a moment, I remembered every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every Sunday supper we had filled those seats. Family was everything. Or so I thought. The plates gleamed. The casserole smoked. The air grew heavy. And as I lifted my fork, I told myself, just eat. Just smile. Do not ruin it again. But deep inside my chest tightened. My fingers trembled on the silver fork. And I knew this meal would not end the way I prayed. I am telling you this now because I survived. Because someone must know what happened that night. If you are hearing my story, I want you to stay with me till the very end. And as you listen, do me a favor. Write in the comments the city you are watching from, so I will know how far my voice has reached. Beyond this house in California, because inside these walls, my voice was ignored. But maybe out there someone will finally listen. My name is Alice Walton, 78 years old, born in Fresno, California. All my life, I thought family was my anchor, the thing that would never break. We lived in a modest house on the edge of Sacramento. A single-story ranch-style home, 1,200 square feet. Nothing fancy, but every corner carried a memory. Robert, my husband, worked 30 years at the power company. Every morning at 6 sharp, he poured his coffee. 2 sugars, no cream, then kissed me on the cheek before heading out. I can still smell the Folgers brewing. I can still hear his boots on the linoleum floor. Michael, my son, was the dreamer, always talking about business ideas even as a boy. He sold lemonade at 6 years old, 50 cents a cup. By high school, he was running a lawn care service with 3 neighborhood boys. I was proud of him. Still, even now, Linda, my daughter, was my gentle one. She became a teacher. 3rd grade. She came home with glitter on her sweater, with stories about her students who made her laugh and sometimes made her cry. She once told me mom kids just need someone to believe in them. And I thought, isn't that what we all need? Then came Erin, Michael's wife. Beautiful, polished, the kind of woman you see in magazines. She knew her wines. She knew her cheeses. She knew how to charm every neighbor on our block. At first, I told myself, Alice, you are lucky. Your son found someone who can stand beside him. But even in those early days, something did not sit right. A smile too perfect. A hug too quick. Still, I pushed the thoughts away, because family dinners mattered more. Because keeping peace was the only way to hold us together. Our backyard was small, maybe 30 feet deep, 40 feet across. But to us, it was a kingdom. Robert built a grill out of bricks. We cooked hamburgers every 4th of July. 2 pounds of ground beef shaped into thick patties sizzling over charcoal. Neighbors brought potato salad, corn on the cob, watermelon chilled in ice water. We sat at the picnic table, paint chipping, redwood splinters catching on our jeans. But it didn't matter. We had music from an old radio, fireworks from the fairgrounds, kids chasing fireflies until their fingers glowed. That was life. That was us. Simple, happy, together. Inside the house, the dining room table was our heart. 8 chairs, a solid oak top, 6 feet long. Robert refinished it himself one summer, sanding for hours until his hands blistered. That table saw birthdays, graduations, arguments, makeups. It held Thanksgiving turkeys 20 pounds each, Christmas hams glazed with honey, pecan pies cooling by the window. Every stain on that table was a story. Wine spilled from laughter, grease stains from Sunday bacon. Candle wax melted on Christmas Eve when Linda fell asleep before midnight mass. Even when times were lean, that table fed us. Macaroni and cheese, hot dogs sliced into beans, casseroles stretched with Campbell's soup. We made do, and we were grateful. I wanted that table to be the one thing that never changed. But things do change. Children grow. They marry. They move away. And one day, the laughter sounds different. Polite. Measured. Like actors reading lines instead of family sharing life. Still, I clung to my memories. To the smell of pine trees from trips to Lake Tahoe. To the way Robert whistled when he trimmed the hedges. To the sound of Michael dribbling a basketball on the driveway until dark. To Linda's chalk-covered hands as she showed me her students' drawings. I kept those moments like pressed flowers in a book. Fragile, beautiful, already fading. Because Erin had a way of making the air heavy, of reminding me that nothing gold lasts. And yet when I set that table for my 78th birthday, I told myself maybe tonight we can go back. Just once. Maybe the old laughter will return. Maybe my family will be whole again. I was wrong. So very wrong. But before I tell you that, I need you to know who we were, where we came from, and what we lost. It started small, almost invisible. The kind of things you brush off. Until you cannot. Erin was perfect. Too perfect. She baked pies that looked like magazines. Apple slices lined in neat circles. Crust golden. Not a crumb out of place. Neighbors adored her. They waved when she jogged down our street. Matching tracksuit. 5 miles every morning. Headphones in. Smile ready. Your daughter-in-law is wonderful. Always so polite. Always helping. And I would smile. But deep inside, I felt a knot. Because what they did not see was how she treated us at home. The way she set the table, then slid Robert's chair 2 inches back, so he stumbled before sitting. The way she kept her tone sweet. But her eyes were sharp, like glass. I noticed things. Mothers notice. Wives notice. Grandmothers notice. The way she counted the checks in Robert's briefcase. The way she knew exactly when the mail came. 3:15 every afternoon. The way she tucked papers into her purse before Michael came home. I told myself, Alice, you are just tired. Maybe too old-fashioned. But the knot in my stomach kept growing. One night, I walked into the kitchen for a glass of water. The clock read 11:45. Almost midnight. And there was Erin. On the phone. Whispering. Her hand cupped over the receiver. She did not see me. I could not hear much. Only a few words. Transfer by Monday. They will never know. When she turned, her face lit with surprise. Oh, Mom could not sleep. She poured me water. Cold from the fridge. But her hand shook slightly as she set the glass down. I sipped. Said nothing. But inside the knot tightened. Next morning, I tried to warn Michael. Son, you need to keep an eye on Erin. He frowned. Mom, stop. She is my wife. She is helping us. Why can't you see that? I looked at him. My boy. 42 years old. But still the same boy who once ran through sprinklers in our backyard. And now he looked at me like I was the problem. Like I was losing my mind. Robert tried to calm me. Let it go, Alice. She is young. Maybe she just does things differently. But I knew something was off. Because families fight. Couples argue. Kids misbehave. That is normal. But perfection is not normal. Perfection hides things. Every Sunday dinner, she insisted on cooking. She measured everything. 2 pounds of roast beef. 3 cups of potatoes. A half gallon of milk. Precise. Unnatural. She told Linda, no need to bring dessert. I already made one. She told me, no need to wash the dishes. I will take care of it. She wanted control. Of the food. Of the house. Of us. One evening I saw her standing at the window, looking out at the street, not watching the children play, not enjoying the sunset, just staring, expressionless, as if waiting. I asked softly, Erin, are you all right? She turned. Her smile snapped back. Of course, Mom. Why would I not be? Her voice was smooth, but her hands, they clenched the curtain tight. And in that moment, I felt it again. That chill. That knot. It was the first crack. The one you try to ignore. The one you cover with paint. But it is there, and it spreads. Families do not break all at once. They fracture slowly, little by little, until one day you realize the pieces cannot be put back. That night, I prayed longer than usual. I asked God to show me the truth, to help me protect my family. I did not know then how much truth would come crashing down, but I felt it, deep in my bones. Something was coming, and it was already too late to stop it. Stay with me. There is more to tell. It started with the bills. Small at first. A check that did not clear. A late notice in the mail. Robert's company account showed withdrawals. $200 here. $500 there. Amounts too odd to be accidents. At home, I opened the drawer where we kept receipts. One folder was missing. The folder labeled Taxes 2020. I searched every shelf, every box in the closet. Gone. When I asked Erin, she smiled. Oh, Mom, I just reorganized. Do not worry. But I did worry, because in 40 years of marriage, Robert never lost a single receipt. Then came the company, Walton Foods, the business Michael ran with his father's guidance. For decades, that little factory on River Road supplied bread and rolls to diners all over Sacramento. We baked 600 loaves a day, delivered them fresh at 4 a.m. Robert was proud of it. Michael wanted to grow it. But suddenly orders were missing. Invoices unpaid. Suppliers calling about checks that bounced. I sat at the old oak table, ledger in hand. Numbers did not add up. $10,000 missing. Then 15. Then more. When I asked Michael, he sighed. Mom, it is business. Ups and downs. You would not understand. But I did understand. Because the handwriting on one canceled check was not Robert's. It was not Michael's. It was Erin's. I stared at the looped letters. The way she wrote the P. The way she dotted her I. I knew that writing. I had seen it on thank you cards. On grocery lists pasted to the fridge. It was her hand. Her signature. Her crime. I tried again. I gathered the papers, spread them on the table, showed Robert. Look! These checks. This handwriting. It is Erin's. He frowned. Maybe she was helping Michael. Do not jump to conclusions, Alice. Helping. Helping to steal. Robert's voice grew hard. She is our daughter-in-law. She takes care of our grandchildren. Stop accusing her. My chest tightened. I wanted to scream, but instead I whispered, Why can't you see? The next Sunday, I could not stay silent. We sat at the table, plates filled, children giggling. And I said it, right there, right in front of everyone. Erin is taking our money. The room froze. Forks clinked. Michael's face turned red. Mom, enough. Linda stared at me, eyes wide. Are you serious? I held up the papers. Yes, yes. Look at this. Her signature. Her withdrawals. She is draining us. Erin sat calm. Too calm. She folded her napkin slowly, then smiled. That is ridiculous. I love this family. I would never. Michael slammed his fist. You are imagining things. Stop attacking my wife. And just like that, I was the villain. The bitter old woman who could not accept change. Robert looked down. He did not defend me. Linda shook her head. The grandchildren stared in silence. I felt my throat burn. My hands tremble. I wanted to cry, but no tears came. Because this was not new. I had been here before. Accusing. Not believed. Left alone. That night, I sat in my chair, the oak table in front of me, the papers spread out, the lamp casting shadows. I thought of my mother, how she once warned me, "Family can blind you, Alice. Love makes you overlook what is right in front of you." I wished she were here, to see what I saw, to confirm I was not crazy, because I was not. I knew Erin was behind it. The money, the company losses, the missing receipts. But no one listened. Not Robert. Not Michael. Not Linda. They saw me as a jealous mother-in-law, not as the woman trying to save them. I went to bed that night with the papers clutched in my hands, my heart pounding like it wanted to escape my chest. And as I closed my eyes, one thought echoed. If they will not believe me now, what will it take? What will it take for them to see the truth? Stay with me. Because the truth came harder than I ever imagined. After that Sunday dinner, the air in the house changed. No one said it out loud, but I felt it. The silence. The distance. Robert barely spoke to me. Michael avoided my eyes. Linda looked torn, but stayed quiet. And Erin walked lighter, like a woman who knew she had already won. I could not let it go. Not after seeing the checks. Not after watching the company sink. One evening, after everyone had gone to bed, I found her in the kitchen. The clock read 10:30. The dishwasher hummed softly. The smell of lemon soap hung in the air. She stood at the counter drying a wine glass. Her back straight, her movements slow, deliberate. I cleared my throat. "Erin, we need to talk." She did not turn. She kept polishing that glass, as if my words were background noise. I stepped closer. My knees ached, but I forced myself forward. "You have been taking from us, from the company, from this family." Finally, she turned. Her smile was perfect, her voice smooth. "Mom, you are tired. You are stressed. You should rest." The words were sweet, but her eyes, cold, empty, like the bottom of that wine glass. I placed the papers on the counter. Receipts, canceled checks. Her handwriting circled in red. "Explain this." She set the glass down, folded the towel. Neat, precise, then leaned close. Her whisper brushed my ear. "You think anyone believes you? Robert, Michael, Linda. They see you as an old woman losing her mind." My chest burned. I gripped the counter. "How dare you?" She smiled wider. "I do not have to do a thing. You are doing it for me. Every time you accuse me, you push them closer to me. And further from you." Her words cut deeper than knives. I wanted to slap her, but my hand shook, and I lowered it. "Why? Why are you doing this?" She tilted her head. Her hair brushed her shoulder. Her perfume strong. Too sweet. Like overripe peaches. "Because I can." She picked up the glass again. Turned her back to me. Dismissed me. I stood there breathing hard. My fingers dug into the counter edge. The laminate cool against my skin. For a moment I saw the future. Empty chairs. Silent dinners. This house without Robert. Without Michael. Without Linda. I shook my head. "No, I will not let you." Her laugh was soft. Almost musical. But cruel. "You already have Mom. They chose me. Not you." I stumbled back. The paper slipped from my hand. Scattered across the floor. Receipts fluttered like dead leaves. She did not bend to help. She just watched. Calm. Amused. I crouched down, gathering the papers. My knees screamed. My back stiffened. When I stood again, she was gone. Only the faint sound of her heels echoed down the hallway. I leaned against the counter. The kitchen light flickered once. The hum of the dishwasher filled the silence. I whispered to myself, I am not crazy. I know what I saw. But the walls did not answer. The papers in my hand felt heavier than bricks. I carried them back to my room, set them on my nightstand, and prayed for strength, for clarity, for anyone to believe me. Because the cracks were widening, the floor beneath us was giving way, and Erin, with her polished smile and perfect lies, was standing on solid ground. After that night in the kitchen, I could not sleep. I lay in bed listening to the house breathe, the hum of the refrigerator, the ticking of the hallway clock, the faint creak of floorboards as Erin moved in the dark. I clutched the papers on my nightstand, but papers were not enough. Not for Robert, not for Michael, not for Linda. They needed proof, solid proof, the kind no one could deny. And I found it by accident. It was a Tuesday afternoon, hot, 95 degrees, the air conditioner struggling, the house heavy with heat. Erin had left her phone on the dining room table, face down, charging, careless. I should not have touched it. I know that. But something inside me said, Alice, this is your chance. I picked it up. The screen lit. No passcode. Just open. And there it was. A message. Not to Michael. Not to Linda. To a number I did not recognize. The words chilled me. If I do not get everything I want, they will not have anything either. My breath caught. My hand shook. I scrolled. Another message. Money first. Then the rest. They will never know until it is done. I pressed my palm to my chest. My heart pounded so hard it felt like it would break my ribs. This was not paranoia. This was not age. This was not imagination. It was real. It was written. It was proof. I carried the phone to Robert. He sat in his chair reading the paper. The Sacramento Bee. Same as always. Look. Read this. He adjusted his glasses, stared at the screen, then frowned. Maybe it is out of context. Maybe it is not even hers. I wanted to scream. Her phone, her words, her plan. He set the phone down, sighed. Alice, you are scaring yourself. Scaring myself. I wanted to laugh. Or cry. Or both. I went to Michael. Showed him. He shook his head. Mom, you should not be going through her phone. That is not fair. Fair. Was it fair to steal from us? To ruin the company? To destroy our family? Linda was gentler. She looked at me with soft eyes. But even she said, Mom, maybe you misread it. Maybe it is work-related. No. No, I had not misread it. I knew what I saw. I knew what it meant. That night, I held the phone under my lamp. Read the words again and again. If I do not get everything I want, they will not have anything either. I whispered them out loud, over and over. They rang in my ears, like a church bell tolling doom. I thought of the oak table, the one Robert refinished, 6 feet long, 8 chairs, so many meals, so many memories. Would it be the place where everything ended? I pressed my forehead to the cool wood, closed my eyes, prayed, Lord, give me strength. Open their eyes before it is too late. I did not know then how close too late really was, because Erin was already planning, already moving, already setting the stage, and the table that once fed us would soon poison us. Stay with me, because what came next changed everything. And before I go on, tell me, where are you listening from? Drop your city. Drop your state. So I will know that these words have reached beyond California. So I will know that someone out there believes me. It happened on a Saturday. Hot sun. 88 degrees. The kind of day you would think was meant for picnics. But inside my house, it felt colder than winter. Erin called it a dinner to make peace. She smiled at me. Mom, we have had too many arguments. Let us just eat together. Start fresh. Her voice was honey. Her words were sweet. But my skin prickled. Every instinct whispered, do not trust this. Still, I agreed. Because Robert wanted it. Because Michael begged me. Because Linda said, please, Mom, just one meal without fighting. So I set the table. 8 chairs. The oak top shining after I polished it with lemon oil. The smell of furniture wax mixed with garlic coming from the kitchen. Erin worked all afternoon. She chopped. She stirred. She baked. 2 pounds of potatoes mashed. 3 loaves of fresh bread. 1 casserole dish steaming with mushrooms. I watched her hands. Precise. Confident. Too confident. When I reached for a spoon, she stopped me. Oh, Mom, do not tire yourself. I have it all covered. Covered. Yes, sis. She had it covered. More than they knew. At 6 sharp, everyone gathered. Robert in his chair, newspaper folded by his plate. Michael pouring iced tea. 2 full gallons sweating in plastic pitchers. Linda bringing the kids laughing as they ran circles around the dining room. It looked normal. It smelled normal. But nothing was normal. We bowed our heads. Robert said grace. Lord, bless this meal. Bless this family. I whispered. Please protect us. Erin served the casserole first. The mushroom dish. She placed a spoonful on every plate, even mine. Her smile never wavered. Her eyes glowed. I stared at the food. Steam rising. Mushrooms glistening. Dark. Rich. Too rich. My stomach clenched. My throat went dry. Robert lifted his fork. Michael followed. Linda too. The kids giggled, scooping mashed potatoes by the spoonful. I wanted to shout. Stop. Do not eat. But my voice caught. My chest felt heavy. My hands shook. I pressed my fingers to the table. The oak grain rough under my nails. The same table that once fed us love. Now it was about to feed us death. Robert took the first bite. Chewed. Swallowed. Smiled at Erin. Delicious. Michael nodded. Perfect, honey. Linda laughed softly. You always make it taste so good. I stared at them. The fork in my hand felt like lead. My plate untouched. Erin's eyes flicked toward me. A challenge. A dare. Eat, eat. So I did. 1 small bite. Bitter. Earthy. Wrong. Within minutes, Robert coughed. Michael's face went pale. Linda pressed her hand to her stomach. The kids looked confused. One dropped his fork. Clattered against the plate. Robert groaned. His chair scraped back. He slumped forward. Michael gasped for breath. Linda cried out, her voice cracking. Something is wrong. I clutched the table. The room spun. My head light, my chest tight. Erin sat still, calm, watching. Her fork rested neatly beside her plate. Her napkin folded on her lap. She did not eat. Not one bite. I saw it. I knew it. This was her plan. I tried to stand. My knees buckled. The floor tilted. The chandelier above swayed. I fell back into my chair. My vision blurred. But I heard her voice. Smooth. Almost gentle. It is all right, Mom. Just let go. It will be easier. No. No, I could not. Not yet. With the last of my strength, I pushed my plate away. The fork clattered to the floor. And in that sound, I swore I heard every memory of this table. Every laugh, every prayer, every tear, and now every goodbye. I do not remember how I got to the hospital. One moment, I was at the table, my family collapsing. The next, bright lights above me, IV in my arm. A nurse saying, "You are lucky, ma'am. You made it." Lucky. If you call losing your husband, your son, your daughter lucky. I lived. They did not. And that is how I ended up in court. Sacramento County Courthouse. Tall stone steps. Columns rising 30 feet high. The flag snapping in the wind. I walked slow. Every step heavy. My cane clicking against the marble floor. The courtroom smelled of wood polish. Benches lined with strangers. Reporters scribbling in notepads. Cameras flashing. Everyone came to see the perfect daughter-in-law. The woman next door. Now accused of murder. Erin sat at the defense table. Hair pulled back. Blouse ironed crisp. Her hands folded neatly. Like a schoolteacher waiting for class to begin. When the judge entered, we all stood. I gripped the bench in front of me, my legs trembling. Be seated. The trial began. The prosecutor rose. A tall man in a navy suit. His voice steady. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this case is about trust. A family trust, broken in the worst possible way. He walked to the table, lifted a clear evidence bag. Inside, a small container, labeled death cap mushrooms, Amanita phalloides, among the deadliest known, purchased by the defendant. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. I felt my breath hitch. He held up receipts, credit card statements, store surveillance photos. There is no doubt. She bought them. She cooked them. She served them. I closed my eyes, saw Robert again, fork in hand, smile fading. The prosecutor continued. He read Erin's messages, her own words. If I do not get everything I want, they will not have anything either. Each word struck like a hammer. The jury leaned forward. Reporters scribbled faster. Then he displayed the checks, the missing funds, the forged signatures, all traced back to Erin. This was not a mistake, not an accident. This was a plan, years in the making. My hands shook. I gripped my cane tight. Across the room, Erin did not flinch. Her face calm, expressionless. The defense attorney stood. Objection. Speculation. Sustained. The judge said, but the damage was done. The evidence was there. Undeniable. I looked at the jury. 12 strangers. Ordinary people. Men and women who ate dinners at their own tables. Would they see it? Would they believe it? The prosecutor's voice rose. This was a woman trusted with their home, trusted with their children, trusted with their lives, and she used that trust to destroy them. Silence fell. The weight of it pressed down on my chest. I wanted to scream, to cry, to tell the jury. That was my family. Those were my people. But all I could do was sit and breathe and remember the oak table, the mushroom casserole, the laughter that turned to silence, and the woman who served it all. The prosecutor ended. We will show you that Erin Patterson is guilty beyond all doubt. We will show you that she chose greed and hate over family and love. He sat. The courtroom buzzed. Whispers spreading like wildfire. The judge called recess. The gavel cracked. Court will resume tomorrow. Everyone stood, chairs scraping, reporters rushing. But I stayed seated, hands clasped, eyes closed, because nothing they could say, nothing they could prove would bring Robert back. Or Michael, or Linda. Justice might come, but the empty chairs at my table would stay empty. The second day of trial felt heavier than the first. Clouds hung low over Sacramento. The courthouse steps slick from morning rain. I climbed them slow, my cane steady, every step echoing. Inside the air buzzed. Reporters whispered. Cameras clicked. Everyone waiting. The judge entered. Court is now in session. The prosecutor spoke first. More evidence. More receipts. More words from Erin's phone. The jury leaned in. Some frowned. Some shook their heads. Then came the moment. The defense rose. Your Honor, my client wishes to speak. A hush swept the room. Erin stood. Her hands folded. Her face calm, but her eyes, they burned. She looked at the jury, at the judge, at me, and then she spoke. You all think this is about money, about greed, but it is not. Her voice rang clear, firm, cold. This is about justice, my justice. The courtroom gasped. I gripped my cane tighter. She pointed at Robert's empty chair, at Michael's name in the files, at me. Do you remember Harper Foods? Do you remember the year 1985? My breath caught. Yes. I remembered. Robert's company had taken over Harper Foods, a rival bakery, a failed merger. The owner lost everything. Erin's voice rose. That owner was my father. You drove him to ruin. You left him with nothing. And he died because of you. Gasps echoed. The jury froze. The prosecutor frowned. I shook my head. No, that is not how it was. But Erin did not stop. My father drank himself to death. I was 10 years old. I watched him waste away. And I swore someday I would make the Walton family pay. Her words thundered. Her calm mask cracked. Her voice raw. Her hands shaking. This was not greed. This was revenge. This was justice for my father. The room exploded. Reporters scribbling. Whispers rising. The judge pounding the gavel. Order. Order in the court. But Erin kept shouting. You call me a murderer. What about you? What about your deals? Your takeovers? Your betrayals? She pointed at me, her finger like a blade. You call yourself family. But your family destroyed mine. My chest tightened. My heart pounded. I wanted to stand, to speak, to defend Robert. But no words came, only tears. Because buried deep I remembered the Harper deal, the lawsuits, the arguments at our table. Robert had called it business. Michael said it was progress. But maybe to Erin's father it was ruin. It was death. And now that old wound had swallowed my family whole. The judge shouted again. Bailiff, remove her. The bailiff moved. But Erin's voice still rang. I did not come into this house to be your daughter-in-law. I came to destroy it. And I did. Silence fell. Her words hung heavy. A confession. A curse. A truth wrapped in rage. The jury sat stunned. Some pale. Some shaking their heads. I gripped the bench, tears streaming, because the woman who sat at my table, who smiled at my grandchildren, who cooked our meals, had never wanted family. She had wanted vengeance. And she got it. The verdict came on a cold Friday morning. Clouds heavy. Air thick with rain. The courthouse steps slick. I sat in the front row. Hands folded tight. Cane leaning against the bench. The judge's voice steady. Erin Patterson. For the charges of murder, you are sentenced to life in prison. With no parole for 33 years. 33 years. Almost half a lifetime. Gasps filled the courtroom. Reporters scribbled. Cameras flashed. Erin stood silent. No tears. No regret. Just that same calm mask. She turned once. Her eyes met mine. Cold. Empty. Then the bailiff led her away. The gavel struck. Court is adjourned. And just like that, it was over. But it was not over for me. Not at all. I walked out alone, down the marble steps, into the drizzle. My coat damp, my shoes slipping on the whetstone. Robert was gone. Michael was gone. Linda was gone. The oak table at home stood silent. 3 chairs forever empty. At night, I sat in my chair. The house too quiet. Every tick of the clock a reminder. Sometimes I touched Robert's whiskey glass. Still on the shelf. Sometimes I unfolded Michael's cap. Still on the hook. Sometimes I held Linda's papers. Left in a drawer. I asked myself, what did I miss? What could I have done? The guilt pressed heavy, like bricks on my chest. But then a small hand slipped into mine. My grandson. 8 years old. Michael's boy. He looked up at me. Grandma, are we still a family? I swallowed hard, my throat tight. I pulled him close, held him against my chest. Yes, sweetheart, we are still a family. You and me. In that moment, I realized hate had destroyed us, but love could keep what little remained. I take him to school now. Every morning, 7:30 sharp. A mile walk. His backpack bouncing. His laugh rising in the air. We eat dinner together. Just the 2 of us. Macaroni and cheese. Hot dogs cut into beans. Simple meals. He tells me his dreams. I tell him stories. Of his father. His grandfather. His aunt. We sit at the oak table. 2 plates. 2 glasses. Empty chairs around us. But still a family. And sometimes when the night grows heavy, I ask myself, what good is vengeance? What good is hate? It burned Erin's life. It burned mine. It left ash where love once lived. So I ask you, what would you choose? Hate that consumes, or forgiveness that frees? I do not know the answer. Not yet, but maybe you do. Stay with me. Keep listening. And before you go, leave me a note. Write your city. Write your state. Tell me where you are listening from, so I will know that my family story traveled beyond this house, beyond California, so I will know that even in loss, even in silence, we are not forgotten.